Welcome to 7 Pot Club. I'm Rob.
I grow hot peppers.
As the outdoor growing season winds down here in Minneapolis, it's time again for another garden update.
2021's gonna be such a wild ride. Inside and out.
This is the first of my 2 annual Walking the Pepper Path videos, where I'll show you all the hot pepper varieties growing in our front yard garden. It takes 2 episodes to show you everything. This is part 1, where I'll detail the plants growing in pots on the north side of our yard. I'll follow up soon with part 2, which will cover an even larger number of plants growing to the south of our front walk. And don't worry, I didn't get up on the roof this year. We just had our trim painted, and the painter graciously agreed to take this shot for me. Let's begin with a short 1-minute walkthrough of the area we'll be covering today, accompanied by a brand new song. Let's get started.
I'm walking the pepper path. I'm walking the pepper path. I like to watch them rapping, so I do a little hiking. I'm walking and talking. I'm walking the pepper path. I'm walking the pepper path. Follow me if you want to see a lot of varieties. Walking the pepper path. We've got Cherokee, cherry bomb, Textil, cherry bomb, devil's tongue, devil's breath, dragon's breath, scorpion, 7 pots, reapers, jeepers, creepers, Racoto, Marupi, Marengo, Tabasco, Bolivia, India, Ecuador, Nigeria, Mexico, Thailand, Trinidad, Brazil, Jamaica, Italy, Vietnam, Suriname, Dominica, and of course the USA. I'm walking the pepper path. I'm walking the pepper path. I like to watch them rapping, so I'll do a little hiking. I'm walking and talking. I'm walking the pepper path. I'm walking the pepper path. Follow me if you want to see a lot of varieties. Walking the pepper path. I'll just keep walking and keep on talking about these pepper plants.
Okay, time to begin looking at individual plants and their pungent progeny. Please stay with the group and watch your step. I apologize in advance for the many words I'm about to mispronounce. Before we get started, I just want to say that I do not consider myself to be the ultimate authority about anything pepper related. And if you disagree with anything I say or have additional information to add, please share it in the comments. Also, due to all the cross-pollination in this tightly packed garden, I don't save seeds. We'll begin with the row of 7-gallon fabric pots just behind this stone retaining wall. First up, the perennially popular 7-Pot Primo Orange. Because of its well-balanced heat and flavor, it's one of my favorites for sauces. 7-Pot Chaguanas Yellow is misspelled with an extra N on this tag. Oops, and uh-oh, a grasshopper has been nibbling on this one. But here are some more that, as of now, are still unbitten. Here's Carolina Reaper crossed with Trinidad Scorpion Moruga Red. I find these to be just as hot as Reapers, but with a less bitter flavor. Seven Pot Lucy is another red super hot I grow in quantity for sauces. Trinidad Douglas is a blistering hot chocolate 7-pot. Here's a nice ripe one we picked the other day. Devil's Tongue Red is a Semillas La Palma variety I grew for the first time this year. I think they taste like a super hot Fatale. Trinidad Scorpion Butch Tea. This sun-drenched pod has some nice cracking on its surface. Most shishitos have no heat, but sautéed in olive oil and sprinkled with coarse salt, they're our favorite summer side dish. 7-Pot Katy is another favorite sauce pepper and is the reverse cross of its sister variety, 7-Pot Lucy. Some of these pods get quite large. Now I'm going to cover the row of pots facing the north side of our front walk. First up, the Trinidad Scorpion Red Cardi, developed by the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute. I've grown the yellow version before, but this is my first time growing the red. Here's a nice looking pod. Next is 7-Pot Peach. This pod has quite a long tail. Leviathan Scorpion has a very interesting shape for a super hot. Still waiting for these to start ripening. Seeds courtesy of Peter Stanley. Charapan Amarillo is a wonderful chinense from Peru. Nice heat and flavor. I'd like to think of them as giant charapitas. Everybody loves Fatali, the hot and tasty habanero from Africa. Next, we have some nice yellow bird peppers. The label says Spicy Jane, but that's not right. Spicy Jane looks like this. Now, I am very careful to try and document everything, but when planting so many varieties, a few labeling mistakes always seem to happen. Sometimes it isn't my fault, because seeds I obtained from someone else were mislabeled, but usually it's my error. And there are several ways I can make mistakes on the path from planting a seed to labeling an outdoor plant. I believe this plant is really a CGN 24360, a wonderful wild variety I'll describe in more detail in the Part 2 video. Speaking of bird peppers, here's Cap 524. A wild Chasen's variety with medium heat and a nice neutral flavor that works great in noodle soups like pho or ramen. The pods are very dark, almost black, then ripen to red. Next is KS Peach Pumpkin. I've grown the orange pumpkin before, but the peach is new to me this year. I'm waiting for ripening on this plant, but I'll be showing you another plant soon that has a ripe pepper. Kamari Pulex is an interesting plant and pepper. This wild Capsicum praetermissum variety is from Brazil. It's got a smoky flavor, and the foliage and flowers are similar to Ricotta, even down to the fine hair on the stem. 7-pot Chaguanas Red. This plant has an unusually shaped innie pod. 7-pot Brain Strain Yellow. Some of the pods have a smoother surface than I normally expect. Scotch Bonnet Trinidad Red. Here's a small one that's ripening. A much nicer one here. Here's one of my favorites, the Brazilian Perola Laranja or Orange Pearl. These small chinense pods are light orange when ripe and very tasty. Another 7-pot Lucy. Nothing ripe here today. Bleeding Heart Chocolate is a small yet nearly super hot chinense. Nothing ripe on this plant today, but these turn brown with also some brown showing up on the calyx. Here are a few harvested from another plant. This is Aji Charapita inquitos, from a plant found growing in Peru close to the Amazon River. Very prolific. We've already harvested a lot from this plant and it's still producing. Like most of my plants, seeds from Semillas La Palma. I'll include all the seed sources in the video description. Bleeding Jigsaw. Some, but not all of these pods have a colored calyx. Ghostly Jalapeno. These are quite hot, more ghost than jalapeno. Here's a nice twisty one we harvested earlier. Next up, in the black 5-gallon bags are the Fish vs. Fowl test plants comparing results between Fishner and Sustain organic fertilizers. I'll cover their progress in a separate dedicated video. Here are the plants potted in a test batch of Fishner potting soil. They looked very unhealthy the last time I showed them to you. I just got word back from Jim White of Fishner revealing the surprising reason why the test batch of this all-in-one potting soil didn't perform as expected, and I'll share that in the upcoming Fish vs. Fowl video. These plants recovered quite nicely after I added more Fishner. Here's a nice Trinidad Scorpion Long SR. Please allow me to take a brief moment to put in a good word about Fishner Fish Manure Organic Humus Compost Fertilizer. This is my 3rd year using Fishner and it's never let me down. Even in a challenging season with long stretches of intense heat and no rain, Fishner helped me grow healthy, productive plants. Fishner is produced by composting fish manure with a carbon source and a special clay. It has no offensive odor. It contains the active microlife needed for sustainable, productive, and natural fertilization. And there's no harmful chemical runoff to pollute the nearby lakes Minneapolis is famous for. I highly recommend Fishner. Now, let's get back to the tour. Here's another red Cardi, another KS Peach Pumpkin. This one has a ripe pod. FP Fadas White F4, developed by Giancarlo Fada. I received the seeds from Juanita de Jesus. These start out purple and slowly change to near white. Here's everyone's favorite, KS Lemon Starburst. This is a ripe one, although not quite the desired phenotype. 7-Pot West, seeds from Peter Stanley. Ahi Omnicolor is a tasty ornamental that cycles through a few colors before ripening to red. Marupi, a Brazilian chinense, seeds from Ray, aka Pepperblog on Twitter, ripens to red. Now, here are two plants sitting all by themselves. I don't have much space, so I need to use every available spot that gets adequate sun. One is a Scotch Bonnet Trinidad Red. The other is a Blue Christmas, my favorite ornamental. Now, when I say a plant is ornamental, people often ask me if they are edible. Yes, as far as I know, all peppers are edible, and many ornamentals are both hot and tasty. But when a plant is called an ornamental, it means it's been bred specifically for its decorative appearance. Now we'll take a quick tour of the pots on this cart. Black Aquinho, a very dramatic Brazilian pepper. Seeds courtesy of Matt's Peppers. Here is Lemon Jalapeno. I don't know anything about this variety except that I like the taste, it's pretty hot, and doesn't look much like a jalapeno. Purple Massacre is a really cool super hot cross. Lots of attractive color combos before it turns bright red. Butch Tea Scorpion is ripening its final pods. Purple Flash is an ornamental with variegated leaves. Here's another bleeding jigsaw. The next one is kind of a mystery and is an example of the problem with planting my own open pollinated seeds. Last year, I planted some seeds I saved from Mata Frade pods back in 2015. The resulting peppers were pointed instead of round, and the color of the pods and foliage was different from Mata Frade. A viewer dubbed this cross strawberries. I saved seeds from these pods and planted them again this year. One of the resulting plants has orange pods, still very hot and tasty, but it looks nothing like Mata Frade. So I'm calling this plant Rob's Folly. Will I save and replant some of these seeds? I haven't decided yet. The last plant on the cart is producing these beautiful Trinidad Red Scorpions. We're hitting the home stretch now, going to head up this inner row of pots and see what's growing. First, another red Cardi. And everywhere you look, there's a 7-Pot Lucy. Trinidad Scorpion Moruga Green is something new this year, a green riping scorpion. I haven't tried these yet, but I'm very intrigued. They take a really long time to ripen, and I'm still not positive what the fully ripe color is. Supposedly low heat. I will investigate and report back. Here's 7-Pot Brain Strain Red. Are you tired of Cardi Red yet? More deja vu as we encounter Parola Laranja. And another Moruga Green. Here's a really nice pod. Next to that, Moruga Caramel. Look at the colors on this one. Some really great color on this White Hot Lime. Apparently this is a variant of Black Butla, grown out by White Hot Peppers in Illinois. Seven Pot Orange Yellow. I personally think this is the best tasting of all 7 Pots. Here's VV7 Scorpion, another Cardi variety. These have a rough texture. 7 Pot Barrack Pour. I accidentally picked this one just now. Not ripe yet, but it does have the classic shape. And another 7 Pot Katy. 7 Pot Bubblegum. Here's a nice example from an earlier harvest. Finally, we'll swing around to these pots in the extension. Here's Devil's Blood Drop, seeds from Upstocks on Twitter. Very hot and love the teardrop shape. Some nice pods on this Reaper Moruga cross. Gator Jigsaw, another green ripening pepper. Seeds from a pod sent me by Smokey Joe. This Rocopica Giant crossed with Cap 1491 does not look like it's going to ripen any of its small pods before frost. It does have really beautiful flowers. It's hard to capture good video in these close quarters, but there are 2 ahi pineapple plants in this 10-gallon grow bag. So that's all the plants on the north side of our yard. Before we conclude part 1 of our pepper path journey, let's step inside for a moment so you can check out all the varieties from our most recent harvest. I hope you enjoyed the tour and my new song, and I hope you return for part 2, which is coming soon. I've already shot the garden footage. If you enjoy our content and would like to see more, you can help us grow by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and tapping the bell to be notified when we post new episodes. Check out all our 7 Pot Club logo and hot pepper related apparel and other merch at 7pot.club/merch. If you'd like a free 7 Pot Club membership card and stickers, get the details at 7pot.club/card. And for even more 7 Pot Club, follow our daily exploits on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For 7 Pot Club, I'm Rob.